So first of all, big congratulations on Nightbook on the launch. Um, what is the reaction from fans been for you? Have you seen the reviews? Have you seen the sort of correspondence on Twitch or on social media? How has that been for you?
Well, I'm not on social media personally, so obviously I didn't get like personal message or anything, but I got to exchange with a lot of people and like real people in real life who actually, are big gamers, and they were really looking forward this type of project.
Mhm.
And so, because as well as an actress, I worked here in France on Cyberpunk 2077.
Mhm.
I'm dubbing the lead character on the French voice. So I actually happen to have a lot of people who are in the gaming world. And so they all got in touch with me, which was really, really nice. And they really enjoyed the experience. I haven't had the chance yet to play the movie. So I'm a bit nervous, obviously. I got a few sequences I got a chance to look at.
Mhm.
But I didn't play the movie yet. But so far, I had like very good responses. So I'm very flattered and I can't wait to see what's coming up.
Awesome. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was definitely one of the better interactive films that has come out recently. Because I was talking to Alex earlier, and the
Yes.
whole idea of interactive storytelling is still fairly new,
Yeah.
and it's always great to see people try interesting and unique things, especially considering as well that you made it during lockdown, so everything was done remotely. Which
Yes.
I think is an incredible achievement. Yeah, how was the challenge of essentially being your own cameraman and lighting and basically being a one-man crew? How was that for you?
Well, obviously, I mean, definitely it's something that, makes you grow as an artist and makes you truly independent and, you're resilient. And first of all, I felt really grateful. I got to be creative and got to work, first of all, as an actor, it was, I think for all the actors, all the creative people, it was really hard to keep recognizing yourself, finding yourself, without having as much opportunities to be creative. So it was phenomenal for me to get an opportunity, first of all, to work, to exchange, to, tell us the story of someone, to be creative, to, just to share with other human beings, which is, why I love this industry and this job, this career. It's to be with other people. So I felt extremely grateful. Of course, it was really hard to be on my own. I'm really like a crew girl, which I like my crew. It's really important for me on set to be surrounded with the people. I love to mix with everybody and get to speak and laugh and have drinks and have lunch with them and stuff like that. So obviously it was really hard to be on my own, even though Alex was so amazing and really supportive and always connected with me. Of course, it was really hard to get in and out of the character. I think because as well, I kind of like to get deep into a character. This is really what I'm interested in as an actor. And so, and especially because in that movie, you do have a lot of intense sequences. You want to get inside of it and not think about the technicalities at all, but out of the blue, I would do the scene and then it would be, oh, sorry, Julie, can you please go behind the camera and press the button up for the sound or the light? And you're like, oh yeah, or you're covered in blood and crying and out of the blue, like, yeah, Julie, you didn't clap. Sorry. Did you press the button? And I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah. That was like, oh, sometimes of course I get protective as an artist with my character, I get protective with my character, what is important for her, how she speaks. I'm really defend her, I love her, I'm in love with the character. So of course, when someone is asking me something technical out of the blue, I'm like, what do you want? Leave me alone. I want to protect my character. And right now I'm in the zone. Of course, I couldn't do that at all. So, I mean, I think in the end, I grew as an actor, obviously. But of course, it was amazing to make a movie in that way. But, I love to be surrounded with people. I missed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing as well, because it is not only is the form of interactive storytelling still fairly new in terms of its new evolution, but yes, so many people were having to adapt last year, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head when you said it improved you overall as a creative person. It means that in the future, if anything happens, not exactly like this, obviously we don't want any of this to happen again the way it is. But if you were to be limited by travel or anything like that, then this is something that you can consider yourself a pro at now.
No,
Which
definitely.
yeah.
Even now, I'm using it already because we do, as actor, we do have to do a lot of self tapes, and
Yeah.
definitely I learned a lot about mic, about light stuff because as well they had to ship everything to my place, which is the set, the material, as well as some of the lighting, all the technical stuff had to be very light, and so I actually really discovered how it works. I'm very good, now I could do the best self-tapes ever. I'm 100% independent.
Love it. Yeah, so it's gonna benefit you in the long run. It's kind of a weird thing with the whole pandemic. It's an awful thing, and we all wish that it never had happened. But I'm just so glad that you and other creatives have been able to make something positive from something so negative. And I think that sort of shows your drive, your passion, and your want to do the best you possibly can. So obviously we mentioned some of the challenges with having to do this all remotely, but what would you say was your favorite bit that you had to do on set?
Well, I think, I like intense stuff,
Mhm.
definitely. This is my favorite moment. There was like I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the dog is here. Sorry about that. That's something that happened during the shoot, because we were filming like 11 hours a day, and I'm a single mother, and I decided to take a dog during the pandemic. So it was really crazy to have 2 kids and a dog while we were filming that film at my house, when actually it was forbidden to go outside. Choco, hold on 1 second. I'm so sorry about that. This is a comedy show. No, I think I never worked before, even though I'm a French actress. So obviously, I'm French, there's something exotic about it. Often I'm cast as the sexy character or something like that. But I never got to work with an intimate coordinator. That was something that is fairly new. And before the pandemic, I was doing a play. And so we didn't have to work with a professional, like that. We had to hire one. I don't want to spoil anything. There is no sex in the movie, the game, whatever you call it. But sorry about that. There was like a kind of violent scene. And so I worked with the intimate coordinator. And at first I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like it, because I like these things to be very organic. I like these things to be I love to improv as well when it comes to high emotions. So I wasn't sure. But actually, and we really had to go step by step. And I was like, it's like, you have this map of physical action. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like it. So I felt a bit nervous about it. We talk a lot about it with Alex. And actually, it was truly empowering. It was phenomenal. Actually, working with my body in that way, the ideas she suggested, how to use my body, really, infused me with emotions. And actually, it's depending on how you play, but if you get to experience that bad scene for my character, it's something I took a lot of pleasure to do. I was very surprised by the effect it had on me, on my acting. But it was a very nice collaboration where I felt extremely safe, protected. And at the same time, I think we created something powerful.
Fantastic. Yeah, I love that. That's so, again, it's so inspiring to see people trying new things because of the limitations that they're given. So in the film, obviously your character converses. You're an interpreter, so you converse with various characters depending on which path the character takes. With the scenes when your character is conversing with other people, did you do that via Zoom, or did you sort of were you
Yes,
sort of just
we were
back?
live. We were together, so we had always rehearsing days because of the shape of the film itself, all the choices you have and pass. It was really hard mentally because we had to learn so many variations, and we had to film big chunks, like one big direction where it's choice A, B, B, A. So it was like very hard mentally remembering the lines and stuff. So of course and because we knew like when we were filming, we wouldn't have a lot of time. We had a couple of days of rehearsing one-to-one, with each time, every character I'm, encountering. And so we had, first of all, lots of rehearsals. So it was nice because we got to speak. We got to try stuff. We got to talk about the character, the interaction, all of this. And then on the D-Day, we were both filmed live, which felt like we're together, like in a real movie. Meaning I'm not more protected because now it's only on you and I could read my script and not feel as connected or in danger in the same way. Actually, we were on Zoom and both computers were, the computers and the camera behind the computer were recording us in different places at the same time. So, it felt like we're in a scene together. We shouldn't fuck it up. Sorry for the F word. We're right. Together. I'm here for you. You're here with me. Let's do it. We had this moment, which is really nice. This adrenaline before going on a big scene, which is like, okay, we're in it together. So we had this thing, but everything was on Zoom. I didn't meet anybody in real life yet, no one, not even Alex. We got to, WhatsApp, videos, all of this, even like in the end of when we finish the film, usually you have, a drink or something, like a rap party. We did a rap party on Zoom. We all actually, they sent us a bottle of champagne, which was so nice production. And so all of us, we could be on Zoom having our drink on our own, So it was really, really nice. But yeah, everything was on Zoom.
Brilliant. Yeah. And I'm sure when the time allows it, you'll be able to meet up with everyone and have a proper rap party. Because
I know.
I'm waiting for a few proper rap parties myself. So it's a growing list. It's going to keep on growing. But sooner rather than later. No, that's again absolutely wonderful to hear that. Everyone's taken such a negative situation and created something that betters you all as creatives, whilst also giving a really unique experience for the viewers or the players, however you want to categorize people. Because that's the thing. It's still a relatively new thing. Are you watching it or are you playing it? You kind of both. And I was saying to Alex earlier that. What I loved about this one, about Nightbook especially, was the fact that you really felt like you could play it one of two ways. You could play it as if you are a blank slate and all of the relationships that will come naturally as if you were yourself, Laura Lynn.
Yes.
Or you could play within the mind of Laura Lynn and those existing relationships. You would think, how do I think that this character would naturally sort of progress those relationships, which I think a lot of other interactive films sometimes struggle with. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It depends, obviously, what kind of story they're trying to tell and what the characters are. But I think in terms of Nightbook, that works especially well, where, because I know that as a gamer for 30 years myself, I love to get into the minds of characters and sort of become the character.
Yes.
And yeah,
I think that's what I wish, that people could identify as me and feel like, try to save themselves and navigate the story as if it was happening to them. That's, my ideal.
That's why I've played it through a few times now, but in my first playthrough, without spoiling anything for anyone, there's an option where you get to pick who you speak to on the call, and I went with the option is think with your heart or think with your head. I'm not sure obviously how it was written in the script, but I went with the heart first because I was playing as an extension of Laura Lynn, so I went down that.
What she would choose, what you would believe she would choose naturally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then I went with the other one as well because I really like Colin Salmon. I think he's fantastic.
So excited to work with him. Obviously frustrating that it's long distance, but it was so nice to get to work with him, and he's fantastic in the exchange we had. He was
absolutely really... So I wanted to also say I alluded to it earlier as well, but I think your performance is sensational. I think you're absolutely amazing in the film. I definitely felt like both ways that I played the game, I definitely felt like I was in your mind for that first playthrough, and in the second one I definitely felt all of that raw emotion, and everything flowed just really, really well. Because again, this medium of telling a story can sometimes feel a little bit stilted, but with some great writing, some fantastic direction from Alex, and a superb performance from yourself, it all just blends together really, really well. So
Merci beaucoup. That's so nice of
big
you for
congrats.
telling me. Merci. You know, I think I was worried because of all the options you have, you know, and the continuity, you know, depending where you come from. And then some of the scenes, you know, like several options are possible. And each time we go back to that scene, and of course, you know, I was just hoping that everything would be smooth, but of course the continuity has to exist. So it was always like, which trauma am I coming from? What just happened? Okay, that version, maybe this has just happened or this has just happened, and it has to work for both. So obviously, you know, that was the big fear, that like, is it gonna work emotionally? Which is for me, you know, the most important thing. I think that's truly my job. It's to make it work emotionally.
I bet you've never read a script quite like it, with all these different branches, and the script's probably about this thick.
450 pages. I was like, okay, so we're starting in a few weeks. Sure, yes. But I mean, Alex was you know, has a brilliant mind. I'm more, you know, of course, being an artist, it's all linked to emotions, where you come from. It's, you know, my mind is more simple. He had this thing, he had like a chart. So for him, it was more like visualizing all the possibilities that exist at the same time. It was like, it was really, really good helping me, you know, guiding me. Of course, I never read anything like that, you know, because it's like a bit, we have this big tradition here in France. I'm not sure, does it exist in England or not? This book where you are the hero. Do you have this thing?
Like choose your own adventure?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it reminded me, I used to be a big fan of that when I was a kid. Of course, being an actor, you know, you already want to have control on the journey of the character. So it felt like that reading the script. It was like, go there. If you choose this, go there. So I was just go in and out of, you know, all around the script, losing my way. You know, it was amazing for a performer to be able to experience the whole range of the character, like all the possibilities, because in real life we do have the best and the worst in us, and it's just, you know, always choosing and we make a choice every second of what we want, what, you know, what we put on other people. And that was amazing, because usually, of course, a character is going in one direction and you're experiencing that, but in the case of Laureline, I could really experience all the choices, you know, of like, oh, and if I would, you know, I felt by the end of the shoot, I felt I knew her inside out, really, you know, like all the possibilities that usually you keep in your head of like, okay, I'm going to say no, but maybe I should have said yes, and maybe this would have happened, you know, and it's in your head. Here, actually, I went through everything, and I really connected to her by the end.
Where it's actually on paper, every single outcome is on the paper, whereas, you know, on a traditional script, you might just have to sort of fill in the blanks yourself. So
this is the subtext where maybe I could fantasize about what would have happened. No, here, it's here. I'm going to go for it anyway.
I love that. So a big question, if you were asked to do another interactive film, would you do it?
I love it. Yes. I say yes. The answer is yes, please. No, of course. I think it's, you know, it's a big, huge new avenue for movies. I think it would be really hard. It would be hard for me as a producer or a writer to come up with that, because, you know, I can't. It's too complicated for me. But as a performer, definitely, yes, it was really exciting. I wish we can do it in, you know, condition where we're mixed with other people, you know, like ideally a normal movie or a normal set for an interactive movie. Yes, please. If I have to do it on my own, I will do it totally on my own again. It was really nice. But obviously, you know, I think it's, you know, I mean, the game world is something quite new for me, because I wasn't a gamer younger. It really started 2 years ago when I started voicing some games, and I was like, wow, this whole new world, all the fans and people and the talent.
It's massive. It's absolutely massive.
Massive, you know, and it's beautiful. It looks amazing. It's dark. It's twisted. They dare everything. There's no limit. So it was already a whole new world for me. But now it's like really the mix of the two, which is, wow, you can go so far, and actually it stays really human. It stays, you know, for a performer, you're using your whole self. So I think there's a huge future for it. And I hope we get, you know, for actors, we get to do more.
Absolutely. And I sort of, alluded to us as viewers experiencing it through our own perception.
Yeah.
But the platform Twitch, where I've seen some streamers playing the game
Yeah.
and allowing there's a mode that you can turn on called streamer mode, where whenever you get a choice, usually it's timed, but you can turn it off so that people can interact with the viewers and then collate all of their suggestions as to what
And then
path to take. So I think that's the natural progression from going from making your own choice to making a group choice. And I think the next progression after that would be to have an interactive movie in a cinema and everyone have like an app
yeah,
on their
remote or
phone,
something.
and
Yeah.
they could you could do like a poll. You could pick your choice and then the winning choice would play out the rest of the film. Something like that on a bigger scale would be, I think, fantastic.
Super
Absolutely.
exciting and fun, and then it would depend of the crowd and stuff, of course.
Yeah, it
I
would be different every time. Yeah.
I love it. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
I've got a few ideas I'm working on, so I'll keep you posted. So finally, I would probably say I understand if you can't say much more, but is there anything that you're working on that you can share?
Actually, no. No, the only thing I could share is that I do happen to write and produce sometimes.
Okay.
In between projects, I've been really lucky that I got to work on stuff that really gets a lot of my energy and attention. So just before the COVID, I was doing a play at the Young Vic called Fairview, which was an amazing adventure, but it was really emotionally demanding because it was really hard. But I started to write a script at the time. Then COVID struck, and I had to go home in France, and again I took care of the family, taking a dog, blah blah blah. But then a few months ago, I took the script out again, and I'm working on it, which is, it feels really nice to go back to it. It's the first time I'm writing on my own. I usually do co-writing. It's a comedy. It's a sexy comedy, let's say, romantic sexy comedy. So it's fun. So I'm working on that. Obviously, there's a thing I'm going for. Like it's really nice because big auditions are back.
Mhm.
Like the world is getting small again. You can, international castings are starting again, which is really what I'm attracted to, what I like to do. I love to do co-productions and collaborate with people from all over the world. So I'm going up for a lot of exciting stuff, but nothing I could speak about yet. Hopefully soon.
Fantastic. No, that sounds fantastic. Yeah, it's great that everything is slowly getting back to some semblance of normality, that everyone can get back to doing what they do best and creating wonderful content for people to absorb, because that is, the arts are so important. That's something that we've all been pushing over here. Independent filmmaking,
Yes.
theatre, music production, everything is so important, because until you actually look at it under a magnifying glass, you kind of, some people don't realize how integral this kind of thing is to society, and how people interpret stories, and
So important to make
yeah,
things move, in the right direction, to inspire, to become more aware. Sometimes it's just a question of awareness. And no, that's, I mean, at least during the COVID, I got to see a lot of shows, and it was so, of course, it made me realize how much I miss my industry. I miss having the chance to tell an amazing, strong stories, brave stories, but honestly, we were really lucky that there was a lot of good shows out there that just, fill your heart and your soul. And you're like, hey, this is why I'm doing this industry. This is why I'm doing this career. It's to work with people like that. It's to tell bold and brave stories. This is why we want to do it. So yes, I think now everything I got to read for and stuff, it was really, really good material. So, it feels really good to know things are coming back, and even better.
absolutely, yeah. Newfound passion for everything, and I think the industry as a whole is gonna get stronger, because of that drive and that bond between creatives. Everyone supporting everyone is so important
Yeah.
now more than ever. And I think again, taking a negative situation and turning it into a positive, I think everyone's going to come out the back of this even stronger than before. So maybe sometimes it does take something awful to make you truly realize what is special.
What matters to you, who you are, and what you want to do with your time here, you know, like how you want to use your energy.
Absolutely, yeah. So Julie, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Merci beaucoup. I'll let you know. Thank you so much, and thank you for playing the film.